My first instrument was the drums. I'm not one of those pots and pans stories. My father had a conga drum that said, and still says, I still have this drum, made in Havana, not too far from where we are here at sea. This conga drum and one small sizzle cymbal, a small cymbal with a couple of like paper rivets. And these were not only my first instrument, but I like to think of them, and appropriate since we're here at sea, that they were sort of a compass for me. They directed me. I think I knew from a very early age that I would always be playing the drums. So it wasn't a matter that I wanted to play the drums. I did play the drums, and I knew that I always would. One of the most important aspects of any young musician's education, I think, is the support of their family. And the drums are not a quiet instrument to practice. So my sisters and brother and parents were all very accommodating and supportive in terms of my practicing, certainly in terms of my taking lessons. I went to summer jazz camps, the first one being in 1961, the Stan Kenton jazz camps, which were held on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. Now, this was before you could use the word jazz in schools. So we had euphemisms like stage bands, lab bands. That was this National Stage Band Camp. This was also before the days of the interstate highway system being nearly complete. So it was a pretty arduous journey to get from New Jersey to Bloomington, Indiana. But interestingly enough, this first camp in 1961 is where I met two of my most important bosses, Stan Kenton, whose band I joined in 1972 as an 18-year-old drummer, and Joe Zawinul, who was at the camp as part of Cannonball Adderley's sextet, and then in 1978 I joined Weather Report. So a lot of my education took place either in these summer camps, in private study, or on the road. You know, I used to always be the youngest guy in the band. I should also mention, of course, that I wound up going to school at Indiana University, and all my high school training, which included classical percussion, was at the Interlochen Arts Academy. So I've been very fortunate to get the best advantages of formal training as well as the somewhat informal training of growing up in public. A lot of the bands that I joined, I always seemed to be the youngest guy in the group. And so I think one of the good things about that was that I entered every work situation knowing that the other musicians knew more about this stuff than I did. So it taught me the importance of keeping my mouth shut and my ears open whenever possible. I have a big mouth, but you know, drummers need to have that instinct of being able to take charge, of being the bus driver. You know, the rest of the musicians are looking to the drummer to own the music, to own the tempo, to own the beat. And so I learned how to develop that confidence. But I think the most telling aspect of being the young guy in the band all those years was that I recognized, and everyone recognized, that I was there to learn. Hi, this is Peter Erskine. To see more great videos, be sure to visit jazztimes.com and keep that bookmark in your internet browser.